Willow Glen was a small town, a quiet place nestled comfortably by the slow, meandering curve of a river. The houses stood close together, their windows like watchful eyes, looking out upon familiar streets. Neighbors had known each other for generations. The shops on the main street were old, their painted signs faded by years of sun and rain, each one a testament to the town's enduring, unhurried pace. In this place, people knew each other not just by name, but by the rhythm of their daily lives. They waved when they passed on the street, simple gestures with the weight of shared histories. The town was a living, breathing thing, its pulse slow and steady, a constant comfort. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, a dark mist came. It was unlike any fog they had ever seen, inky and strange, absorbing the fading light rather than reflecting it. It did not smell of damp earth or river water. It carried an ancient, dry scent, like the pages of a forgotten book. As if a piece of night sky had fallen to earth, a silent, creeping shadow moving with unnatural purpose. Street lamps shivered within its embrace, their golden glow reduced to a weak, hazy pulse. Dogs fell silent. The old town bell rang once, a single mournful chime, and was silenced. No one saw it arrive first. It did not roll from hills or rise from the river. It seeped in almost imperceptibly. A gradual, insidious creep, a blurred photograph, a trembling glass, a child waking from a twisted dream. Edges softened. Sounds were muffled. A quiet blanket wrapped the town, and Willow Glen held its breath. Emma ran the town bakery, a place of warmth and comforting smells, the heart of Willow Glen's mornings. She always woke before the sun, her movements sure in the pre-dawn quiet. That morning, a strange chill met her. The mist, thick and dark, pressed against the glass like the cold breath of some immense, sleeping creature. She opened the window a crack. The air drifted in heavy and still, carrying that same dry, ancient scent. Inside, rising bread fought a losing battle. The yeast slowed into unnatural slumber. Tom, the postman, loved the predictability of his route. But that morning his hands felt heavy, his stride slow, letters in his bag clinging with a strange dampness. His mind blurred. He made small, uncharacteristic mistakes, leaving a book of stamps on a park bench without noticing. Ever practical, people called it peculiar weather. They spoke in low voices on porches and driveways. It will surely lift by noon. But noon came and went. The sky stayed uniformly gray. Birds did not sing. They flew low and hurried. The river slowed to a tired standstill. At the school, a large old clock froze at precisely 9. Children stood in quiet clusters, eyes fixed on the frozen face. There was no crying, no shouts, just a collective hush. The swings moved ever so slightly, with no wind to push them. Beneath the slide, a toy car held 3 perfect drops of rain, while the ground around it was unnervingly dry. Inside the diner, Mrs. Clark moved distractedly. A song on the radio slowed to a mournful drone, then halted. A cup of coffee sat, its warmth bleeding away. The mist preferred the old and the forgotten. The corners of buildings, spaces beneath porches, quiet alleyways. It wrapped the ancient willow. Its leaves whispered a sorrowful secret. A boy saw a pale light in the mist, ran, and returned clutching a glass jar. Inside a single tiny black feather that did not belong here. Back at the bakery, Emma paused over a patch of spilled flour. A single, perfect shoe print, small, no bigger than a child's, with an unfamiliar pattern. They trailed from the back door and faded to nothing halfway to the counter. A shiver ran down her spine. She wiped the counter but left the faint outline, as if the mark were a message she was meant to find. On his route, Tom found a thick, velvety envelope with no name and no address. Inside, a blank card, blank on both sides. A thin line of black dust clung to his fingers. He pictured dusty files and a locked drawer at the post office he had never seen opened. At the school, Mrs. Lane found a new name at the bottom of the list. Neat, elegant script, unlike her own. Short. A single word. Reading it sent a chill through her. It felt ancient and utterly new, holding a strange power she could not comprehend. The clues moved in hushed conversations and worried calls. The shoe print, the blank letter with its black dust, the mysterious name, breadcrumbs on a dark path. As afternoon bled into premature twilight, Mayor Henderson called a town meeting to quell rising panic.
We will be vigilant. We will watch over our homes and our families. We will keep this town safe from whatever this is.
A scattered, muffled applause. Despite his words, the mist continued its slow, deliberate journey through town. It clung to windows. A face would appear in the fogged glass, the face of the person inside, smiling a slow, sad smile, then dissolve with a soft sigh. That night, the mist grew thicker. Street lamps were distant, hazy moons in murky glass. Unable to sleep, Emma found a small, polished black stone on her mat, cool, silky, ancient. As she closed her hand around it, a sudden weariness settled in her bones. Troubled by the blank letter, Tom wandered to the edge of town. An old house with a faded green door, long empty, now held a faint light behind grimy glass. A tall figure paused at the window, looked out over the town, then retreated into gloom. He pushed the creaking gate. Reaching for the handle, the green door sighed open on its own. Inside, the ancient, bookish scent was strong. Walls were lined floor to ceiling with shelves, hundreds of glass jars. Each jar held a small item, a child's shoe, a faded photograph, a tarnished locket, a single black feather, a collection of lost things, a museum of memories. On a large table lay an enormous book, dark and cracked, untitled. Inside, pages of names in the same neat, elegant ink as the school list. Beside a newly appeared name, 3 sketches: the black feather, the smooth black stone Emma found, and a house with a weeping willow. A jolt of intense cold ran up Tom's arm, less temperature than time. Beneath the drawings, a line of text shimmered. They keep what we forget. He looked up and saw his own face in the window, smiling that same slow, sad smile, then dissolving back into the night. A primal instinct screamed to run, but he closed the book, lifted its surprising weight, and stepped back into the misted street. The mist followed, slow, deliberate, like a loyal, silent companion. People watched from porches, faces a blend of fear and hope.
In the town square, he raised the book. It keeps what the town forgets. His words felt fragile against the oppressive mist.
Emma held out the stone. It warmed, pulsing like a tiny heart. She placed her hand on the cover. The pages turned by themselves, stopping at a blank page. Ink flowed from an invisible pen, forming a new, unfamiliar name. Not one of theirs. The mist seemed to pause, its swirling motion coming to a stop. Willow Glen held its breath. Then a small, clear bell rang. Not the town bell, but a high, delicate chime like a wine glass on stone, cutting through the silence. Tom read the next line. Do not forget the sound of the bell. Beneath the dark surface, a slow, round light moved. No fish or reflection, but a silent, watchful eye patrolling the depths. A child let out a soft laugh, not of mirth, but recognition. The mist swelled, then drew back slightly, as if in acknowledgement. By the river, the ancient willow lifted a single leaf and dropped it to float away. No one had answers. The mist's origin remained a mystery. It took nothing more that night. It simply waited, pressing softly at the edge of awareness. Willow Glen slept, shallow and restless, one eye open, one ear listening for the bell. With weak dawn light, a new caution settled. They left small offerings. A piece of string, a shiny button, a child's crayon, insignificant things to keep their precious memories safe. Emma placed the black stone where she could see it every day. Tom kept the jar with the feather in his coat, a constant weighty reminder. Each night they left an offering, a crumb of bread, a smooth river stone, a song left softly playing. The mist took them, then receded, sated for a time.
We will remember. We will remember. We will remember.
New names appeared in the book, and they refused to let them fade, placing new words, new memories beside them. They never learned what the mist truly was, only how to live with its dark, silent breath, curating their past, keeping some things, letting others go.
Willow Glen kept one promise. They would not forget the sound of the bell. We will remember.